Good evening, everyone. I'm glad you could make it to our meeting tonight. The meeting starts at 6 o'clock. Meeting will now come to order. I am taking the place of Michelle Gates today. Our president was unable to be here. Since I'm the clerk, I will now do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Put your right hand to your heart. And let's start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now we're going to do roll call.
Ms. Lopez,
Present.
Ms. Beltrán Castañeda,
Present.
Ms. Avalos,
Present.
and Ms. Sarmiento and Gates are absent.
We have an announcement to make. Tonight in closed session, the governing board unanimously selected Dr. Roberto Cochran
Perfect.
as our next assistant superintendent of the business services. Dr. Cochran has a well-rounded background as an educator, human resources, and business services. Welcome, Dr. Cochran, to the National School District family. Would you like to say a few words for us?
Thank you, I will. Thank you so much. I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you so much for the consideration and the work that I've done in getting to know each of you through the interview process. I am so excited to be part of National School District, and I'm so excited to be part of developing exceptionally prepared learners who are global citizens and who are compassionate and also innovative as well. And I look forward to my work with you, supporting through the business services process, really supporting the educational environment to ensure that we have strong, capable schools that can promote those students in our environment to excel and succeed. So I just wanted to say thank you very much for your consideration and your confidence in me. And I look forward very much to working with you guys later as we start the new school year. Thank you.
Thank you. We now have and the presentations, Dr. Marissa Copeland will now present our new employees.
I have the pleasure of introducing and welcoming our new employees. Unfortunately, our two new employees could not make it tonight, but I'd still like to recognize them. Our first new employee is Lisa Van Rietti, special day class teacher from Olivewood School. Ms. Van Rietti has over 2 years of experience as an education specialist. She holds a bachelor's degree in English from Brigham Young University and 2 master's degrees, one in education specialist from National University and the other in education from the University of Laverne. So welcome, Lisa Van Rietti. Our next new employee is Edith Fernandez, transportation student attendant. Ms. Fernandez has more than 4 years of experience with in-home support and is currently a transportation student attendant substitute for the transportation department. Welcome, Edith Fernandez, and welcome to both of our employees.
Thank you. We now have public communications, number 6. Public communications provides the public with an opportunity to address the board regarding an item on the agenda or other topic. Anyone wishing to address the board shall submit a request for oral communications. Cards are available near the entrance to the boardroom and are to be submitted to the recording secretary. A member of the public who wishes to address the board on any such matters is limited to 3 minutes for the matter of up to 5 minutes for all closed and open recession matters. There shall be a limit of 20 minutes for any matter unless time limit is waived by the majority vote of the board. Members of the public may not yield any time to other speakers. No board action can be done at this moment. We now have a Mr. Mark Anthony Hall.
Yes, thank you. Greetings, Clerk Avalos and Superintendent Brady, and trustees. Our school year is coming to an end, and I always like to update school boards of what Manhood ABC is up to. When I first started this journey, I would go to the schools and tell them all about what we're going to do for boys. And some of the principals would say, you know what, the guys are good, got anything for the girls? And I would say no. And so what I gave you in the packet is an update that we have started something called Bloom ABC. And it's in San Diego County schools, it's in Learn for Life, it's in assorted charter schools, but we're excited about it. And once I start doing more research on the social and emotional state of girls, adolescent girls, I shouldn't have been amazed, but I was very amazed that the need for social emotional input is greater for girls than boys. I always remind everybody that we had an epidemic before we had a pandemic. Though I know a lot of social emotional funds are drying up, but the epidemic of kids, as my mother would say again, home training, home training, home training. When the home training is missing, the teachers get it. A bunch of kids that maybe sometimes hanging in the street, never go home, they bring it to the teachers. The teachers turn into Superman and Superwoman, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, clothing, housing, transportation, you name it. And what we found out is that when there's a community partner, hopefully the parents are in place, we're community, you are school. Again, when all three places are intact and all of us have our arms around the child, they have a chance to succeed. And that's all we really care about, is that we can hopefully say some things to the children that will get them, they have epiphanies at different times. I remember I had my epiphany regretfully in my sophomore year, and I recognized I had to get my act together or I wasn't going to make it. Yeah, but right now, when I go to graduations, I always look for the kids that don't have parents there. I look for the ones with no legs. I look for the ones that are sort of there, but they sort of walk around like this. Nobody's really paying attention to them, even at graduation. And so I just want to give you guys an update of our curriculum. I feel like it's the best one in the country right now. Our curriculum writer, I gave her our pack from Manhood ABC. I didn't want to write it because I just felt like a man should not write a curriculum for girl mentoring. And so our curriculum writer did an excellent job on it. We started in August. You see some of the feedback from some of the schools we were at. We can't keep the girls out of Bloom. They love it. They love the presenters. They love the facilitators. It's been very successful. So I'm just stopping by and say hi again. I'll let you know we're in the community. We're here to serve the kids. And let me just say with the manhood side, the boys been asking me lately, can you do a class on what to do when the police stop me? We're going to add that to our curriculum, how to behave yourself in the presence of law enforcement and how to keep on with your life and not stopping about, I know my rights and all that stuff. You need to recognize authority. And when authorities ask you something, how to deal with that and keep on with your life. So it's a lot of things the boys are giving us. We did one, the principal asked us to do some on hygiene. I went to a school, all the windows were open in the front. I said, all the windows open. They said, this place stinks. I just tell you what the principal said. And so I wrote a book, it's called The Baby Boy Meets Mr. Bubbles. It's about planting your dog in the dirt when you come in the house. You need to take a bath and wash your hands. Wash your clothes. It's some stuff that they have never been taught to do, amazingly so, boys and girls. And especially with adolescent girls, it's so important for them to learn some things from women mentors and facilitators of how to be a young lady. You're going from being a girl to a young lady, boy to a young man. So anyhow, I'm just here to say hello again. And let me just thank you. Last night I was at San Diego Unified. The public comment was at the end. So I was there at 5 o'clock and I got to talk at 9:30. So thank you all for putting this at the beginning of your board meeting. I can go eat some dinner. That's all I have. Thank you.
So much. Thank you, Mr. Hall, for coming. Thank you for your presentation. We'll now go on to the agenda, to accept the agenda. Approve consent agenda routine items of businesses. Agenda. Accept the agenda. Do I have a motion to accept? Approve?
Second.
Motion to approve by Ms. Bettencourt and second by Mr. Lopez. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Thank you. And now we're going to approve the consent agenda routine items of business. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be acted upon in one action by the board. It is understood that the superintendent has recommended approval for these items. There will be no discussion prior to the time of the board votes on the motion unless members of the board, staff, or public request specific items to be discussed and/or removed from the consent agenda. All items approved by the board will be deemed considered in full and adopted as recommended. Minutes, approve the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Maria Betancourt Castaneda will make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Maria Betancourt Castaneda has made a motion to approve, and trustee Cindy Lopez has seconded the motion. Please vote. I always have trouble with this. Okay,
Item passes unanimously.
thank you. Now we're going to go to general functions, educational services. 10A. Presentation and adoption of the National School District's 2025-2026 Local Control Accountability Plan. Dr. Barrett,
Yes, I need to give my presentation.
will do the presentation.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, thank you. Well, at our last meeting, you had a chance to see the information around our local control accountability plan in depth. Tonight, we are just going to go over the changes we've made since that presentation. And tonight, hopefully you will adopt this and then we can pass it on to the County Office of Education for approval. So I'm just going to highlight the changes that were made since that meeting to now. So our first change was that we, in our plan, we do have references from 2023 that were changed to reflect our 2024 data during the LCAP updating process. However, we were told by the county office that they would like to continue to see the 2023 data as well as the 2024 data. So we made that change and included both years. So that's the first relatively minor change. Another relatively minor change is that anytime we talk about the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant, we are required to provide the research citations that go with that and the justification language. So we went back and added those citations. Again, there are no major, well, there's a few changes that involve some dollars, but there's not huge changes here. Here's one of them that did involve some dollars. To ensure the compliance of our actions, anything that has LCFF supplemental and concentration funds can be marked as contributing. So we needed to make sure that if it said LCFF, we had contributing funds with it. So we shifted some dollars around. And you can see here on the chart, we shifted $30,000 and we took some money from action 1.3, 1.5, and 3.6. And then we contributed that to those items from action 2.1, the data analysis and planning. And then we went back to our lottery funds. And this is always the game of which fund is funding which. So we used our lottery funds to then backfill in the data and analysis and planning on action 2.1. So it's sort of just moving money around to make sure that we stay in compliance. We did a few other budget reallocations. We needed to find some specific funds. So we reduced action 3.3, the furniture budget, by $65,000. And we increased action 2.3, the learner model development fund, by $65,000. We moved money from that one fund to the other. We also reduced action 4.1, contracted help. This one hurts, but by $100,000, and increased action 2.1, personalized professional learning, by $100,000. We also had to do a little bit of fixing with action 1.5. We needed to address our long-term English learners, our LTELs. So we made the following addition. We just added a metric that specifically called out the work that we do with our long-term English learners. And that goal was advanced to achieve green. They are currently at orange on the dashboard. Action 4.2 required a little bit of updating. We tried to clean up the title. It's called MTSS, Social, Emotional, and Behavioral. We wanted to be more clear on that. Unfortunately, the state prefers continuity over clarity, so we went back to use that same title, but we did make it more clear in our description of what we did. So you can read there the description. It just tells what we're doing to address that need. We made other minor revisions. There were some wording changes. There was some spelling. One grammatical, or a couple of grammatical errors were corrected. There was one bonus activity. I did find one misspelled word that had one letter missing somewhere in this document. So there is a prize out there for you proofreading experts to find that one word. There will be no cash prizes. Good luck, everyone, and those are the updates.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I'll answer any questions if you have any on
Is
this.
there any questions?
All right, thank you.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second. We have a motion to adopt by Ms. Maria Betancourt Castaneda, and a second by Ms. Cindy Lopez. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Motion has been approved. Number 12, a presentation and approval for the
Item 10B.
10B, sorry. Okay, approve, oh, I see. Approve the National School District Local Control Accountability Plan Federal Agreement for the 2025-2026 school year, Exhibit C. The Local Control Accountability Plan, LCAP, federal must be approved by the local governing board and submitted to the California Department of Education. To apply for Every Student Succeeds Act ESSA funding title funds.
All right. So this is the other piece of the work that we do with all of our special programs. The LCAP is a state document, but it does reference some of our federal funds. This is the plan and document that makes sure that our federal funds augment the work we do in our state plan. So it's sort of the second half of it, and it's really just an assurance document that says, hey, you have an LCAP, we understand that, but now we want to make sure that you are using your federal funds to support and augment that work. And it is in the exhibit here, and you can see that we do. And actually, the district does a very nice job with that. So we ask that you approve this document, please.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion to approve by Ms. Castaneda and a second by Mrs. Lopez. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Thank you. Presentation of the California Dashboard, local indicators for the National School District. Results of the local indicators must be part of a non-consent item at a regularly scheduled public meeting of the local governing board in conjunction with the adoption of the Local Control and Accountability Plan, LCAP.
All right, and our director, Kathy Milanese, is here tonight to present this to you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Good evening, Board Clerk Avalos, Board Trustees, and Executive Cabinet. This continues along the vein like Dr. Baird was talking about with all our funding. As you know, the state wants to know that we are actually doing productive things our students are achieving with all this funding. So part of these are our local indicators that we report on that are also reported on the California dashboard. And these are used to evaluate all these different 8 conditions of learning that the state evaluates. Some are evaluated on our standardized tests, like student outcomes. The areas that we're going to talk about tonight are the local indicators where the district self-reports using some tools that we have. And it is always shared with the governing board on the same evening that the LCAP is adopted, just so you can see the work that has been done. So these are the 5 priorities that turn into our local indicators that I'll be talking about briefly tonight. We're going to look at basic conditions at school, implementation of the state standards, parent involvement and family engagement, school climate, and access to a broad course of study. All right, priority one is basic conditions, and this is basically measured through our Williams visits. We have three schools on a 3-year cycle that are evaluated. And this past year, the past 3 years, the visits were at Ira Harbison, Palmer Way, and Ramshaw. And they look at these 3 different areas. The first area is actually for the whole district. They want to know, do we have sufficiently credentialed teachers? And last year, you can see, we didn't have 100%. We had 97.6% of our teachers were fully credentialed. The 5 teachers that were not fully credentialed were either on they were interns, or a special education credential, an emergency credential. So they were all in the area of special education, working towards full credentials. So that's where the need was, and that's how we fill those positions. Sufficiency of materials is where they go in and they're looking at the curriculum and ensuring that every student has access to every core curriculum. And so we pass that at all 3 schools, as well as they look at our school facilities for safety and cleanliness, and again, we pass those. And I believe you may have seen those reports already. They're done very early in the school year for us, but this is only a report on them. Our next priority looks at implementation of state standards, and we look at 3 different components in this area: professional learning, application of academic standards and curriculum, or adoption, of the standards and the curriculum frameworks, and then the delivery of instruction. So the way we measure this is they look at which areas of the curriculum, which content areas are we doing full implementation, and then we look at other areas. So for full implementation, which is a scale of 1 to 5, we've been doing English language arts. So the teachers have had lots of professional development on the standards and the framework. They're implementing curriculum deeply, and they have sustainability and implementation of English language arts, English language development, math, and our next generation science standards, and that will be going into more depth next year. Our areas for growth, we have beginning development in our health education content standards, our visual and performing arts. We do have our VAPA program, but district-wide, we're still beginning that development. And as you may know, this year we're really excited to look more into our history, social science program. So we are in the exploration research phase. All right, parent and family engagement. This is a big area the state wants to know that we are really welcoming parents, and they're really having our families are having input into our schools. So we'll look at 3 different areas. The data here was from LCAP surveys, our DPAC, DLAC meetings, input, so feedback from schools. So it's all kind of compiled and summarized for you. So the first area we're looking at is building relationships. And overall, our parents feel very positive about our schools and feel very welcome and included at the school. They really appreciate the supportive teachers that we have. And then more would really like, they just want more events. They'd love to see more families at all of our events. They want us to do more outreach, so we will continue to do all that. And another thing that came up was really important was continued interpretation translation services for our families as we become more diverse, especially linguistically. Our partnership with Families for Student Outcomes, so again, we're looking at how we're working together for student achievement. There were a lot of informational sessions, and we worked toward our career technical educational pathways, really putting students on those paths towards college and career, and our families really appreciate all that we're doing in that area. We specifically looked at students who have an IEP or students who are English learners, and when we looked at that data, most of our families felt very strongly that their children's needs were being met. They do want more supports, continue with our extended learning programs, and they want more mainstreaming for their child's in a special day class. They would like more mainstreaming, which you'll see later, we are actually increasing. So it's exciting that we're in alignment with what our families are looking for. And then of all of our students, when we looked at that data, it was the families were really appreciative of our extra support, which is our whole MTSS framework in the 3 different areas. They really, if they're saying, if my child's excelling already, what can we do to challenge them? So that's another area we want to look at. And then they would like more workshops, more trainings on how they can support their children at home. So really great information for us to plan on. And then finally, the third area that the state asks us to look at is input for decision making. And as you can see, our families felt that their input is very much welcomed, and they have very many opportunities to do so through meetings, surveys at both schools and at the district level. This was, I thought, really important one. The families of our students with an IEP feel that they are very much included in the IEP process and the development and implementation of it. And they would like more in-person forums to provide feedback. So that was just kind of another way we can think about it. All right, on to priority 6, which is the school climate. And the data we look at here is our California Healthy Kids Survey. A caveat about this data is this survey is given to our 5th grade students, families, and teachers. It is given in the spring of the school year. So we don't have the data for 24-25 yet. This is our data from 23-24. So we're always kind of working a little behind, but this is the data that we have to share for this priority. We had 74% of our students who responded. I know our coordinator of student support services, Cece Garcia, really did a big push to try to get it. We want the voices of our students heard, right? We really want to make sure we know what's going on from them. So some of the strengths that came out in the survey was that the students feel safe coming to and from school, that our teachers, all staff have high expectations of students, which is really great, that they're motivated academically, and that they feel like there are a lot of supports for them socially and emotionally. Our areas of need, school boredom. 50% of our students reported that school boredom is that they feel bored at school. This is an area you'll see. We need to figure out what's going on. We know there's been a lot of change with electronics, screen time, right? So digging deeper to understand what we can do to get kids more engaged. Although what's kind of interesting, because when you can see my note there, that 50% of our students reported that they have boredom at school, but they still feel very motivated. So it's kind of like teasing out that data, looking at schools, you'll see they need to dig into school site data. This is district level data. Only 64% of our students feel safe at school. So that's a really big important factor we need to also look more closely at. And then I just wanted to add these kind of subcategories because I think they're relevant, that 54% of our students were called bad names or felt that they were the target of a mean joke, and that there were mean rumors spread about them. That was 45%. So again, areas that we can address and work on with our schools. And so those are some of our next steps you can see there. So I think it's really important to point out both things, that we want to work on that culture of kindness and empathy, which I know we do at our schools. I know if you step on campus, you see that. But I think another area that maybe we can look at is also building that self-efficacy, right? Like, how do I respond? Because although we want to promote kindness, but we also know that our response to those things are important. So that may be something that we need to look at a little closer for next steps. All right, and our last priority is the broad course of study. And I just have to say, feedback is always that National is doing an excellent job in this area with all the extended learning opportunities. So I just want to thank the board for continuing to support all that we're able to offer our kids. And I think the fact that all of our students get to participate in these activities. So all of our students, every single TK through 6th grade, regardless of what program you're in, will get to participate in our STEAM learning opportunities and Olive Gardens and Ocean Connectors, everything that's provided. Here's the reference to the parents want more time in general education, more mainstreaming. Least restrictive environment has increased by 4%, which is great. So that means there's more mainstreaming happening. More students are spending time in the general education class. Which means more access, right, to general education peers, general education curriculum. All students are part of MTSS. Again, regardless of the program, they are entitled to receive Tier 2, Tier 3 supports in all areas, academics, behavior, social, emotional. And then we continue to provide modifications and accommodations so that students can fully participate, meaningfully participate in the broad course of study. And that sums up our 5 priorities. They're not numbered like this, they're aligned with the LCAP. So if the numbers are off, that's why. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
It kind of concerned me when you said 64% of our students do not feel safe. What were their answers to not being safe? How did they feel that they were not safe?
So I can only use the data that's in the survey. So they asked the kids a question. So when I looked at kind of who was being mean, who felt there was some data about cyberbullying. It breaks it down for the district by gender, so male and female, and by ethnicities. So I highlighted some of that data for feeling safe at school. Like our Asian or Asian American students, 81% of them feel safe at school. Versus when we looked at students who identified as mixed ethnicities, only 52% felt safe at school.
So what are we doing to make them feel safe? Or what can we do?
So that's a lot of the work that we do with Tier 1, with part of our MTSS for social and emotional support. So we have our counselors working in every classroom. We also have our teachers doing a lot of social emotional supports. We have our PBIS, which really promotes kindness, respect, responsibility. And along with that come incentives and rewards, right, for promoting those good behaviors. Our counselors also work with small groups, individuals, and families. They make referrals outside. So I think we're doing it, and it's not even just teachers and counselors, right? It's our campus student safety assistants. It's our office staff. It's every person that the child encounters on the staff is promoting that culture of kindness. But I agree, we do need to look into what is it? Is it a particular school? Is it by ethnicity? I think we definitely need to dig,
Question.
to
No.
find out what is it. Yeah.
Please correct me if I'm wrong. You said this was a survey between 2023 and 2024.
Correct,
So we really don't know current, what's the current survey, right?
correct, yeah. So that is just kind of one of the issues in using it.
Any other questions? Okay. Ms. Castaneda?
Oh, okay. I have a question for complete transparency on the basic conditions, priority 1, the sufficient, the credential teachers.
Yeah.
You stated that they're either like an emergency credential or so on. How long do we allow for them to be in that status before we have to move to the next, step?
Right, whether they move on or they're fully credentialed.
Right.
I don't know the exact steps. I'm gonna defer to Dr. Keppen, but I do know one of them is already completed. So one of our interns from this past year just completed. Another one is completing in November of this year, and I think another one's completing early 2026. The other two I didn't have the date on, but I do know the interns are in the process of getting their credentials.
Right, just the reason why I ask is so that we don't want parents to think that we don't bring teachers that are not qualified for our students. Obviously, we want to, they need time to, get their credentials cleared and so on, because we are obviously in a deficit of teachers, and we obviously need to get training somewhere. But for complete transparency, how much time are they allowed to be with us before they have to clear it? Otherwise, they have to move on.
Yeah, so they get 1 year. If they are in an intern program, it's, every intern program is a little different, but about 2 years for their program. And I would say that the answer to your question is very unique to every individual, depending on where they are, how many units they have, how much in a certain subject area they have completed in terms of coursework. So everyone's kind of unique, but if you are working on that coursework, you get a year to complete that process. And I do know that at the 3 particular sites that you listed, 2 were interns, and they completed their program through the County Office of Education. One of the other sites has since have filled the position with a fully credentialed special education teacher. So throughout the year, it can vary, but for the most part, I know that 3 for sure at those schools have already been filled with credentialed teachers.
I just wanted to make sure that parents don't think that we have underqualified individuals teaching their students.
Right.
That's not the case. It's
Right,
just that
right.
we
We
have-
do have them under like a special permit, and they're given so much time to complete that coursework, which still is okay under the ed code for them to be teaching in the classroom.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any other comments? Mrs. Bray? Ms. Lopez?
Yes. Thank you for the presentation. I also wanted to echo in the parent involvement slide that I feel like we would need more parent workshops, probably around early literacy, or even from my public comment earlier, how to teach our children to have their own autonomy and their own selves. So emotional and health, I think that would be really crucial to our community to have those workshops. So thank you for your work. Yeah.
Any other questions?
I don't have a question, I did before, but I also want to say thank you, because this is a lot of information and a lot of time put into it. And I appreciate all that you, again, presented. but having a lot more information for our parents, it is beneficial for us, even though our kids are maybe older and still will continue to benefit us. So thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Melanie. Thank you. We are gonna go down now to. I have two comments. Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Brady. We have, Mrs. Brady would like to speak. Oh, Mrs. Brady?
Oh, that's okay. I just wanted to
This thing
also,
is,
sorry, it's in covering my light.
coming here a little light.
I just wanted to also thank you, Ms. Milanese, for your presentation. I want you to know that you have a partner in the Superintendent Student Roundtable. When we first saw the data around 64% of our students feeling safe at school, that was one of the things that I wrote down, and I would love to have the Superintendent Student Roundtable lead some focus groups with their peers and really dig into that. We know that there's a lot of media on things happening. We just saw that there was a school shooting in another country just this week. And our kids are seeing that. And so coming to school, making sure that we're doing everything possible that they feel safe when they're with us is really important. Also students feeling engaged, but also excited, right? Not just engaged to want to do well in school, but to be excited and passionate about what they're learning in a learning style that makes them feel excited about the learning. Maybe the Superintendent Student Roundtable can get to the bottom of that question with boredom as well. So we'd love to invite you in and have you give the kids some homework to do with their principals, have the kids bring back some data, and of course we'll be having the roundtable present to the board on that data so that we can track that and not have a surprise next year on our dashboard. So that's one thing I wanted to say. And then to address Trustee Lopez's comment about parent trainings, just a reminder to the board that we're getting $9 million from the state of California for community schools. And one of the things we can use that and should use that for is to provide those opportunities after hours, before school, after school, during school, for our parents to learn as much as they can to be partners in the education of their children. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Brady. Do I have a motion to approve? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, we're going to go on now to item E. Approve CT 4297 with Kicker.com to provide technical networking support.
You missed the item.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed item D. We'll go back to item D now. Approve the purchase of Amplify M-Class Diebells 8th edition as the district's K2 screener for reading difficulties. Approval of this purchase allows the district to comply with California Education Code Section 56335. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a motion to approve? Okay, Mrs. Lopez made a motion to approve. Mrs. Castaneda second the motion. Please vote.
Can I ask a question?
Do you have a question?
Yes, point of clarification, I'd like to make a comment before voting. Just want to say thank you for this. This is really important for our students and for our teachers as well to receive the PD that's included in this invoice. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone say anything?
Just that this is, recent legislation requires us to have a universal screener for all young students to screen for reading difficulties beginning in this coming school year. We have to have something approved by July 1. And so that's why it is on the agenda now. And we did do a pilot, and this was this was the, I don't know if it was universally approved, but everybody loved this one. So so this is a good tool. I've worked with it in the past, and I think it's going to be helpful for us in screening our younger students.
Item passes unanimously.
Moving on to number E, approve CT 4297 with Kicker.com to provide technical networking support. Approval of this item will allow Kicker.com to provide technical networking support block hours to the district's technology department. Motion to, have any questions?
I'll second.
You don't want to say anything?
Well, I can if you want, and also Dr. Gerg has.
Yes, I just wanted to add that I wanted to applaud the Executive Director Kasi for the adjustments on this GigaCom contract. I've approved this twice in the past in prior years, and it was for closer to $100,000 through Executive Director Kasi's willingness to take on some of the responsibilities and his high level of ability. We were able to reduce this contract from 100,000 a year to 35,000 a year. So I just wanted to point out that high value that we're getting from his work there. So I just wanted to applaud him.
Thank you. Ms. Lopez?
Yes, just wanted to clarify, what this vendor does. Is it just IT or what is, just a little more background? Thank you.
As I understand it, they're going to provide technical work in IT, so with the network support. Yeah, so networking support with our IT department.
Any other questions?
Yes, do we have a budget for this department? I know I've asked before, but, wanted to know what that would look like.
We do have a budget. It is primarily in the LCAP.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
I made the motion and
I do.
Lopez second.
Okay. Mrs. Castaneda made a motion to approve, and Mrs. Lopez seconded the motion. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Thank you. Item F, approval renewal of the annual digital software license list for the 2025 and 2026 school year. Approval of the annual digital software license renewal list will allow each renewal list to be extended one additional year. Any questions? Mrs. Dr. Burke? Dr. Baird?
Yeah, did you get a motion first?
You can just.
Okay. So first of all, I'd like to point out that we did a very extensive review of all software being used in the district. And we have taken out a number of programs to the tune of $402,200.93. That doesn't mean that's a total savings because obviously software goes up and we have added a few new programs, but I think it's indicative of the work that we're doing, trying to make sure that we keep relevant software in front of our students and staff. And so the list is in front of you. If you have questions about the list itself, we can answer those. But this is the work of a lot of people in the department going through the tools that our teachers and staff use.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Dr. Brady?
Yes, I also want to add that on your digital copy that you received of the agenda and the one posted online, there are live links. So if you wanted to click into any one of those quotes and see a little bit more of what each of the software offers, you can do that as well. And this is, as we put them on each year, we'll add the quote.
Thank you.
Okay, and one more thing. Even though you're approving this annual digital software license, the board will approve each of these as they come through the purchase order system. So that they'll be on there. But this is just for transparency so that people can see like what is the software we're using, what are the purposes of the software, how much does each one cost, so that they don't get buried in our regular purchase order system with all of our food and materials and things as well. So it's a two-step approval, but you're going to approve these again one more time.
Thank you. We'll now go on to business services.
Motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion to approve by Ms. Castaneda and a second by Ms. Lopez. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Thank you. We now have a presentation by Dr. Burke. The presentation.
Yes, a brief presentation. Good evening, trustees of the board. Thank you, Acting President Barbara Avalos, and I thank you for your attention tonight, trustees of the board. Tonight, we're voting on the unaudited actuals and the proposed budget for the 25-26 years, the unaudited actuals, so saying that how we're unofficial closing of the 24-25 year and the proposed budget for the 25-26 year. The full presentation occurred May 28th. There's just one significant change has occurred between then and now. Everything else is exactly the same as it was, but we had our insurance rate invoice came in, and it increased by $40,000 above what it had been before, so we had to make a budget adjustment. These types of things happen during the school year all the time. We get a quote that's lower than we anticipated, higher than we anticipated, and we make budget adjustments as we go. This one just happened to come in right in that window of time between the presentation and the vote. So I just wanted to be very transparent and make sure that everyone's aware that this $40,000, a new bill for $40,000 greater than what we were expecting came in. And so what we did to remedy the situation is that we had a commitment in the 25-26 budget. As you see at the bottom, it's called Protection Against Future Revenue Loss. So we basically reduced that amount. That's kind of a protection account. It's kind of like a reserve, a little reserve for expenditures that would come up. So we just reduced that by the amount of the bill. I'll show you here. This is what it looks like in the budget. Previously, it said that it's in the committed section. The committed is when we make our commitments. We used to have $95,263 committed for protection against future revenue loss. If you look on the green one, that is the new budget proposal, and you see that amount has reduced to $54,000, and that the $54,068.20. So that adjustment there covers the new insurance costs. We adjusted our insurance budget up, and that was it. Other than that, the budget is as presented 2 weeks ago. One thing I do want to make sure that we clarify, or that I clarify, is that I talked about how on May 28th, I talked about how one-time funds are expiring, and that these funds have been used to fund positions, and that without these one-time funds, that the funding situation for those positions would change. I just want to be very clear that was not a statement that those positions would be reduced, laid off, or reduction in force, fired, or any of those types of situations. The district's not anticipating reduction in force at the end of this year. Anything can happen. I can't make promises in a budget situation like we have. It's very fluid, both federally and in the state. But the reason that we do not anticipate that type of reduction is because these bullets, the district continues to make every effort to right size through attrition. When we lose personnel, we try not to hire back. And that way we keep that budget savings, and that helps reduce our annual costs. As long as we can fulfill the students' needs without hiring that specific position, we'll do that. Additional funds are expected and not budgeted. That's around, the numbers have fluctuated between anywhere from $5 to $2 million. We expect that the state has more money for us than they have signaled. They've kind of hinted at it. The governor hinted at it in the January budget proposal. The May revised said that they wanted to do a one-time discretionary block grant for $1.7 million, which is like $1.2 million for us, and also extend the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant. Again, that's probably a couple $100,000 for us. 200 to 300 is probably what it's going to come in, but that is not budgeted because it has not been signed off by the legislature. So it's not in our budget yet. It is money that will be coming to help with our situation. So again, that's another reason why we don't feel like a reduction is imminent. Budget adjustments and program adjustments remain available to us. And as I discussed on the 28th, new attendance recovery rules provide strong opportunity to recapture lost ADA funding. So there are good reasons that I do not anticipate a reduction in force at the end of this year. I just did want to emphasize in the presentation, though, that we are out of a lot of the one-time funds that carried us through the pandemic, and that we are in a position where we need to be more careful with our funding, and we need to leverage the opportunities such as the recapturing of the ADA. Okay, so I want to calm any fears down that people might expect that we might not have certain positions at schools yet next year. We expect to fully staff. And that is it. That's my update. Any questions on tonight's board?
Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second? I have a motion to approve the estimated actual budget for the 2024-2025 and adopt the 2025-2026 proposed budget for all funds.
I make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Are we not hearing the one for the next fiscal year? Was that from last one?
That was, yeah, when we talked about it last time, the proposal for next fiscal year. That tonight's was more or less just an update from the May 28th.
Is it item 12A, so to adopt 2024, 2025, and adopt the 2025, 2026, right?
Yes, that's the one.
So it's all one budget. It is
Yes.
very confusing. It's all one document. They're on the same state template. But one is an approval of the estimated actual budget, and the other is the adoption of the proposed budget for next year that we heard in the public hearing at the
Yes,
last meeting
so
with clarifications today.
and the way it presents in print is on a lot of the budget pages, the first two columns are the estimated actuals, whereas the next two are the proposed budget for next year. It's pretty convoluted to look at when it's relatively. But yeah, it is all together in one thing.
It's your exhibit,
Yes.
exhibit D.
I will go to exhibit D. Presentation by the citizens bond.
Email.
Second.
This one. Do I have a motion to approve? I believe we had one by Mrs. And do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you so much. We have a motion to approve by Mrs. Castaneda and a second by Mr. Lopez. Mrs. Lopez, please vote. Thank you for everybody's patience.
Item passes unanimously.
Now we're gonna go to item B, adopt resolution 24-25-34 for the use of educational protection account funds. Attached resolution and documents show the estimated funding and proposed expenditure in the amount of $7,452,050. $7,452,758 for the 2025-2026 school year. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Mrs. Maria Castaneda, a second by Mrs. Lopez. Please vote.
Can we hear?
Do we have any questions?
Where would you come?
Any comments?
Yes, this funding is part of the school fundings. It's become very normal for us in California education to accept these funds and use these funds. They were additional taxes that were provided as part of Prop 30. And part of the stipulation was that we call out how we're using that money, or that we are using that money each year. So this vote does that, basically says that we're using that additional tax tax revenue from high income earners and using it for our students' education.
So this is being allocated into instruction?
Yes, it's part of the general fund.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I'll second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Castaneda, a second by Mrs. Lopez. Please vote.
I need a second. Item passes unanimously.
I'll now go down to item C, adopt resolution 24-25-35 to identify the amount of budget reductions needed by 2026, 2027, and 2027 and 2028. Approval of this resolution confirms the governing board's commitment to budget reductions in the 2026, 2027, and 2027, 2028 school years, summarized in the previous agenda item. Mr. Burke?
Yes, this is a resolution to identify the amount that we need to reduce our spending, the budget cuts that we need to make, or perhaps revenues that we need to earn through recapturing ADA. But it's just saying that this first year, 25, 26, we are in good financial standing and we can afford all of our bills. But in 25 or 26, 27, should nothing occur, should we just go forward as is and spend all the money that we say we're spending, that we would have to reduce by $833,182 for 26, 27, and for another million, 1.2 to 1.3 million, for a total of 2.089 million in the third year. So those are the type of adjustments that we need to make. I know for a lot of us, that sounds like a ton of money because hearing $1 million, but that is about 1% of our budget because we're a large operation. And I believe that we're going to find this in savings before this year starts. There might be some additional savings that we find in the closing of this budget, and if in the 24-25 budget, and if not, there are additional opportunities through the things that we've been discussing. I discussed on that last slide that will help level out that 3-year, multi-year projection. So all in all, over 3 years, to have to identify $2 million in cuts is a very doable, reasonable thing that we can accomplish together.
Any questions? Ms. Lopez?
Yes, thank you. So, given the adoption of the previous monies, this wouldn't go into this new projection. Could you clarify that?
Yes, this is actually, these are the amounts identified in the budget as being what we need. It's so the budget has a portion of it that is a 3-year look of the multi-year projection, and in that multi-year projection, the first year shows as being fiscally sound, the second year shows up as being $833,000 short, and the third year shows up as being $2 billion short. So things that we do this year are going to, if it's something that costs $500,000 a year, if we were able to eliminate that right now before the year starts, that would actually save us $1.5 million over the 3 years. So that type of action would almost solve our problem entirely, our 3-year problem. So it is in the budget, but it's in those deep pages called the MYP multi-year projection.
Yeah, and I'll add
Yeah.
that this resolution is a transparency piece. It's to make sure you're signaling to the public that we're continuing to look at our budget and that we'll continue to make sure that we remain fiscally solvent. And like Dr. Burke said, if nothing changed, we would have to make those cuts. But the governor just passed the new legislation that we could do attendance recovery, for example. When we raise our ADA by involving our students in our extended year program or after school program, extended day, we'll be able to raise that attendance daily rate and we'll be able to recoup that revenue there. But that would be the board making sure that we're doing those things to bring that extra revenue in. Not filling positions, as we've talked about, we're committed to looking at every position. That would be another way that we would save money, like Dr. Burke was saying. But this is this resolution is intended for transparency so that school districts and staff don't just say, can you approve this budget? And then later on, when sometimes these things catch up to a board, the board says, we didn't know that we had to make cuts or to stay fiscally solvent. And so this is your way of acknowledging to the public, yes, we know that in the out years, there could be issues if we don't stay true to our budget and make some cuts along the way or adjustments.
Yeah, there are things that will bring that number down, like any savings we create now. But there are also things that will drive that number up. So this has actually been part of our either budget adoption or interim vote the last few years, just as declining enrollment has impacted our revenue streams, et cetera. So it's just, as Dr. Brady said, it's for transparency. It's a learning to the county office, who also has fiscal responsibility over our district, that we know, how much we have to cut in the out years to make sure that we stay fiscally solid too. So it's a signal to the county and to the public that we know that we have work to do to remain fiscally solid. Now, should that $1.5 million in one-time money come in that I was just mentioning, that I think is very likely to come in from the adopted budget at the state level, then that resolves very much a lot of this problem just right away. So I believe it's a temporary solvable problem.
I think she was also asking in regards to item 12B.
Oh.
Because that's as a revenue.
EPA for instructional dollars.
To shift some of the funding from there to, if that's.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, that is already accounted for and built into the budget.
Okay.
Yes, that's fully accounted for and budgeted. Yes, thank you.
Are we able to table this until we actually get the governor's budget?
We can't.
I wish that was the case, but we're required to pass our budget before they are. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to happen before if they do theirs early enough. But they're not required until the end of the month, before they start losing pay. So we're waiting. We have a hard deadline, whereas theirs is a little bit softer.
Yeah, I think for today, I understand this resolution, and I would hope that if there is this projection for our cuts in the next 2 years, that this wouldn't include staff, or if we do have that conversation early on, so that whoever is affected is aware, because I'm not comfortable voting on this, knowing that it might be staff that I don't know about in this next 2 years.
Okay.
Did you have to speak?
I already did.
Oh, you already did, thank you. Okay, took note of that. So do I have a motion to approve? Ms. Castaneda makes a motion to approve,
One second.
and Ms. Lopez seconds the motion. Please vote.
Madam President, unanimously.
Thank you. We now have a presentation by Mr. Burke of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee regarding Measure HH.
Yes, thank you very much. The Citizens Bond Oversight Committee has an annual responsibility to report to the board, and I would like to present to you National City Resident Extraordinaire Cheryl Colmanero, former district employee, I believe, correct? And former student, and National City General Expert and parent. So if you could come on up to the podium.
That makes me sound much better than I am. Actually, hi, everybody. Nice to be in front of you. It's been an experience to be on this Bond Oversight Committee. We've learned a lot, which you all know the school district is very near and dear to my heart. Mr. Burke has accomplished a lot of stuff. I'm glad that's his deal, because the numbers are astonishing to me. There happens to still be $18 million, remaining balance $16,445 that, and there's no more bonds to be sold. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's your job, teacher. That's your job, teacher. And I was so happy to see Miss Melody's here too. Our committee members, our last meeting, we did get 2 new ones. Unfortunately, nobody was able to be here tonight, so I stepped in. I know you guys have a lot of new furniture for your students, which is really great. The new playgrounds are amazing. I haven't visited all of them, but I know that my schools will be getting them this summer, and I see the construction going on. It's been a real pleasure to be on this committee, and like I said, the figures are amazing. They astonish me. Current status of the bond. Is this one right? That's where we have $16 million remaining. I believe the ISOM, they were at our last meeting, right?
They came to a prior meeting in Swinnerton, they came to the last one, yeah,
Oh,
the
okay.
project management, and you can talk about that a little bit if you want.
That was very interesting, and I really liked that they had a lady project manager. It seems like they were having some issues trying to get people to bid on some of your jobs. I told them, I have a list of people I could give you. A list. They'd be very good construction companies. And they had a lot of, talked about a lot about the paths that get from like the beginning of the gate through all the schools. They were very interesting. Oh, yeah. So for 2025, 2024 and 2025, the total expenditures, as you can see, were a lot. And I think it's gonna really benefit the kids. I look forward to being on the committee again. If I am reassigned, I don't know the word for it.
And that's historical after that. That's all.
That's about it, I
Yeah,
think.
that is. The path of travel, I think, is the key, so if I could just expand on that. A lot of the bond work is gonna be about the path of travel. And that is connecting all the playgrounds, fields, and improvements to our classrooms, and to the offices, and to the front gate, and to, as necessary, the parking lot. So that, so much of what this bond is gonna do is make our campuses much more accessible for ADA compliant, which also enables us to move forward with further projects in the future, now that we would have brought those up to speed to ADA compliance.
Do any of you have any questions? Maybe I can answer.
I don't have a question, just want to say thank you, Cheryl, for being here tonight and taking it for the team. I know it's a lot of work and I appreciate your time for being here.
Thanks, appreciate that. It's always a pleasure. National City can't get rid of me. You guys can't get rid of me. Yes, Ms. Otler.
The National City, where are they spending their money at?
Are we spending the money?
Are we spending the money effectively?
I think so. I've stayed up how you guys spend your money for a really long time now. And if I didn't think so, I would be the first to say something.
I bet you will. I mean, thank you for your help.
Thanks.
Thank you for being loyal to National City.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Mrs. Lopez?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you again, Cheryl, for your commitment and keeping us transparent in this bond process. Thank you.
Any other questions, any other comments? We'll now go down to item E, consideration and approval of recommended citizens bond oversight committee members. 4 members of the National School District's Measure HH Citizens Bond Oversight Committee, CBOC, have terms that will expire on June 30th, 25. Mr. Burke.
Yes, we have the 2 new members, as Cheryl mentioned. We have 2 members who are new, and their term is not expiring. But the 4 that we previously elected, or 5 actually, 5, their term is expiring. We are asking for the board to approve 4 to return, because these have been outstanding members who have consistently participated, attended, and signaled. We asked, do you want to continue? They signaled that they all want to continue. The one name that is not on here is our tax representative, Ms. Eleanor Ellens, who has not attended the last couple meetings, so we won't be, and has not been responsive either, so we're not going to recommend her to continue.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll second.
Mrs. Lopez, made a motion to approve. Ms. Castaneda seconded the motion. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Now go on to item F. Approve CT 4295, the Federal Funding Advisors, LLC, for the district's E-rate application activities. Approval of this item will allow the district to receive E-rate professional services from Federal Funding Advisors, LLC, for the 2025 and 2026 school year. Do I have any questions? None? Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Ms. Castaneda made a motion to approve, and Ms. Lopez seconded the motion. Please vote. We'll go down to,
Item passes unanimously.
thank you. Go down to item G. Approve CT 4308 to Wilkinson Hadley King and Corporation, LLP, to perform the annual financial audit and bond audit. Approval of this contract will allow Wilkinson Hadley King and Company to perform the required general audit and bond audit for the 2027, and 2028 school years. Any questions?
Is there a reason why it's in 3 years, or could you explain the process?
Yes, it's a 3-year contract, basically. Essentially, it's locking in the rates at this time.
Any other questions?
Do I broke down that way?
Oh, yeah?
I call it broken down,
But we do pay individually.
Each year.
yeah,
Each year.
Do I have a motion to approve?
make a motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve by Mrs. Castaneda and a second by Mrs. Lopez. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Thank you. We now go down to item H, accept donations. $500 from Mission Federal Credit Union to the National School District for the 5K Fun Run, which is great. $500 from the Mathematics to National City School District for student and staff incentives. Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Ms. Castaneda and a second by Mrs. Lopez. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
We will now go on to board cabinet communications. Ms. Lopez?
Thank you. Wow, it's been a very productive meeting. I want to say happy Pride and happy Juneteenth and happy Father's Day to all the dad and dad figures. Welcome to our new employees, Lisa and Nidhi. Welcome Dr. Robert Cochran to our team. And just want to say again, congratulations to our students on their promotion. Had the honor to be at Central Elementary. And also just a reminder, if you're not in our extended school program, the library does have free lunch Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 12 at the library. And hope everyone has a great summer break. Oh, and thank you, Dr. Burke, for your years of service to our district and all the work that you've done. So thank you. We'll visit Grossmont and do public comment on it. Thank you.
Ms. Castaneda?
I would also like to welcome Dr. Cochran for the new superintendent of business, or to the new superintendent position. And to our NSD family. Would like to congratulate all of our students for their promotions from TK all the way up to our 6th grade. Would like to congratulate Stephanie for her beautiful ceremony at Rancho. I was actually had the privilege to attend Rancho's ceremony and been able to attend there several times actually, and it's like clockwork there. And I had the opportunity also, or the privilege, I should say, to be a part of their handing out of their certificates, and it was beautiful. Their students were so well rehearsed, the way they engaged in their ceremony. They're so well spoken, and it was just amazing. They're prepared with their closet for their picture. Everything was so beautifully decorated. So kudos to her and all her staff and everybody who had the hand in preparing. And it was just an amazing ceremony. So thank you for what they did for their students and their parents, because it was a very, very well prepared ceremony. So thank you to that. I'd like to congratulate all of our teachers for their induction presentation. It was done a little different this year than in past years. We were sat in groups, so I didn't get a chance to hear everybody's presentation, but it was very well organized with Ms. Felker. I'm gonna go back to her previous names. I'd pause. Ms. Felker, she did a wonderful job organizing that, and anybody who participated and assisted with that. Let's see. I have a little note, sorry everybody. Wanted to thank Ms. Melanie for her presentation here tonight, Dr. Baird, Dr. Burke for his presentation, and Cheryl for your presentation. Thank you for being here again. Wanted to welcome our new employees and also congratulate. I was able to attend national promotion, and those were our former students, and also Sweetwater's graduating class, again, former students of ours. Let's see. Wanted to wish Dr. Burke good luck on his new district. I hear this is your last meeting with us, unfortunately, but I wanted to wish you good luck. It was wonderful working with you. You will be missed, but again, I wish you luck, and don't be a stranger. Come back and visit us. I know you won't be subbing, but come back and visit us.
You never know.
Right? But I appreciate the years that you were with us, and I thank you for that. Let's see what else. Wanted to congratulate my own children. My freshman in college completed his first year, so he's back home, finished his finals, and I have my Oregon student is back home. So I have all my kids back and my SDSU students. So everybody's home. So you can imagine, happy mommy. I can sleep better at night. So congratulations to my boys. Wanted to wish everybody, all the fathers out there, and a happy Father's Day, and everybody a wonderful break. So have a good evening, everybody, and hopefully I didn't forget anything, because otherwise I'm full of Barbara. Mr. Burke.
Yes, thank you for the well-wishing, and I just want to express my gratitude too for my time here. And I think it's this board and this executive cabinet have been nothing but welcoming, collaborative, wonderful people. So I've really learned a lot, grown a lot, and appreciated it greatly. It's bittersweet to leave. It's very difficult. I'm not good at leaving, and I feel terrible about it. I am excited, but I just feel terrible about it, because I do care a lot about National City and the district and the people here. So I applaud the work that you're doing. I applaud the hearts that you have and the clear vision that you have for the city, for the district, for the children. And I applaud you for all of that. And I thank you very much for the support and the opportunity.
I want to ditto what everyone has already said. And Ms. Lopez, I almost had the exact same thing you had. Everything you said, I had it on my list, except for the public comment part. But I just want to congratulate our new employees. Dr. Cochran, welcome to National School District. And thank our presenters tonight, Dr. Baird, Ms. Melanie, Dr. Burke. And just want to say, I'm going to have 2 new neighbors coming soon. And I want to thank Dr. Baird and Dr. Burke for their time here in National. I think this might be your last board meeting.
I was not told that. Wait,
I know
I was not told that.
Okay. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you to both for all their contributions to the National School District. Happy Father's Day, and I hope everyone enjoys their summer break.
All right, so we're not sure on that last board meeting, but my time here is wrapping up soon, so I want to thank the board for putting your trust in me to be here for the last few months. And but I promise to keep this short, so it's so thank you. I came, I consulted, and I crawled away. We'll see, what's up?
Yeah, so I did want to say welcome to Dr. Cochran. It's going to be great to have him come and join our NSU family. Definitely love the way he thinks about National City, National School District, and our students and families. So love that he has also come from the educational side of the house and can kind of look at business through that lens of what our schools need. And so really happy for that. So thank you to the board for approving him, and we'll be bringing a contract forward for your consideration at the next board meeting. Not saying goodbye to you. Yes, I do want to ditto everything and thank you to our presenters tonight. It was great to have you here during the summer. We don't always have very many visitors during the summer months. And so definitely, Cheryl, it's great to see you here with us as well. I did want to have my comments for Dr. Burke, because I know officially this is your last board meeting. That first, I just want to say it has been great working with you. Watching you grow into this role has been spectacular. Little did I know that when we were supporting you that you would take all that knowledge and take it to Grossmont. But you're welcome, Grossmont. People are watching. You're very smart. You're a quick learner. You have been very fun. We enjoy your laughter. Keeping, on those hard days, keeping things light and pushing through some of those difficult challenges that we all have together on. At times, you've been a team player, and I really do want to wish you good luck. To tell you that we'll all miss you here, but I will not miss that Eagles green suit. Go New York Times.
You knew I had to get it one more time.
I've been thinking about it all. Wait, I can talk. Well, first of all, I do want to welcome our new employees that are here. Sadly to say they could not make it. But also, Mr. Burke, when you first came, I was so happy that you were going to be here in our district. I think I told you that. And now I'm sad that you're leaving because you've done a great job here. I've always admired you and I respect you for all that you did for our school board here. But I know it came from your heart, and I wish you the best of luck, whatever you do. I want to thank Cheryl Monero for coming. It's been a long time since I've seen you. But thank you for being on the bond committee. I think it's great that you're so active still in National City. That's great. Thank you so much, Ms. Melissa. Thank you so much for your presentation. I know it takes a lot. We had a lot of questions, but you had a lot of good answers. So that's really good too. I did go to the graduations and I was so proud. I went to the Southwestern graduations, both of them, to know that those children that were graduating actually came from National City. From our elementary to the middle school to high school and into college. And there were so many. There was 2 ceremonies, which I attended both because I am so proud. I did also attend the middle schools because I did go to middle school here too. I didn't go to Southwestern, but I did go to middle school. And they also had 2. And again, they came from our elementary schools. And that's what makes me proud. I was able to attend the Kimball Elementary graduation, and thank you, Mr. Lopez, for letting me hand out the diplomas And not only that, but to see our children that have come here do presentations, we're in the round table. They all were so wonderful and they're all so great. So this thing about National City, and I tell people, you know, when I was going to school and graduated from Sweetwater High, the children, the adults that are now adults, became lawyers, Superior Court judges, teachers, mayors, superintendents. And they came from Kimball School and Central School and our 10 schools here in our district. And that's what makes me so proud to be here in National City. I want to thank you for your patience with me today. I was unaware I was going to be taking Ms. Gates's place tonight, but I'm just practicing. So when it comes time for me to be president, so that was a practice. But anyway, I want to thank all of you. Happy Father's Day. Thank you to our Dr. Brady here, who helped me here with all her little notes so I could read them. And thank you for putting your trust in me. And thank you to your Happy Father's Day to your husband. And Happy Father's Day to all of you. Thank you so much. And the meeting is now over.